This week on Diecast Review Monday, we are reviewing a diecast of a race car that brings the noise unlike anything else in motorsport. And its driver is a female who's known mostly for her skill behind the wheel and not how pretty she looks on the cover of a magazine. I know, mind-blowing, isn't it? Let's get down to it. Yeah, it's on box. Yeah, that's about as much as you need to know about the box. There's no dents or scratches. And this thing got smashed to pieces. Zingy, that's a good word. Oh, excuse me. It's sloppy. I've seen paper customs on YouTube done better than this. Yes, this week on Diecast Review Monday, we're going to take a look at Courtney Force's Traxxas NHRA Top Fuel funny car, Ford Mustang. Now, this is actually the second time we've reviewed a Top Fuel dragster diecast on Team Bombersports. You remember last year, for my university graduation, I got a nice present from my uncle, which was a John Force 180, I think it was a 118th diecast, might have been 118 and 124 scale NHRA diecast. That was a much older one. This is from one of the newer ones, and this is actually one of the ones made by Lionel. I'm not sure if you guys know about this, but Lionel have been making a few of the NHRA diecasts the last few years, and I've been trying to get hold of a few of them. They are a lot rarer than the NASCAR diecasts. In fact, if I found one thing out recently, it's that NASCAR diecasts in general are some of the easiest diecasts in the world to come across. I mean, everything else seems to be a lot more exclusive run, especially IndyCar diecasts. They are quite tough to get hold of sometimes, but you know, the NASCAR diecasts are made as a sort of mass market, and I guess the NHRA are trying the same thing. And this is one of their diecasts, and I thought it'd be quite interesting to have a look at it compared to the NASCAR diecasts and their build quality. So, on Courtney Force, of course, she's the youngest daughter of John Force. I kind of watch NHRA when I can. I don't get a chance to do so a lot of the time, but I have grown up in a family that has, you know, been taking me to drag race meetings for as long as I was able to stand by a racetrack with some incredibly loud race cars and not cry immediately. That's what you do when you're a kid. You're just like, wow, loud noise, not a thing. Which is ironic considering I've now grown up to be, yay, loud noise, this is awesome. But I have been going to drag race events for quite a while, and over here there isn't really a Top Fuel championship in the UK. There is a European one in the FIA championship, but I think I've been to those events a couple of times, and I've watched some of the American NHRA events as well. They're always awesome. I mean, these cars are just mind-blowing. They are just like nothing else in the world. They're not cars, really. They're sort of nuclear missiles with wheels. And literally, they'll just bend physics casually in front of you. Like, they're 300 miles an hour. Wait, what? That was from a standing start. Yep, no, 300 miles an hour. There it is. Quarter mile. Beep, beep. There we go. It's complete. And, you know, there's that old story that I think is true. That if you send a Bugatti Veyron through the start line of a quarter-mile drag strip at top speed, that's 240 miles an hour, and you start a nitro funny car on the line from a standstill, the funny car will beat the Veyron to the quarter mile. That's how fast it accelerates. It'll go, the Veyron's like, I'm already at 240 miles an hour, going really fast, really fast, really fast. Then NHRA car's like, and I'm already at 240 miles an hour. There you go, fuck you. This is basically what they do. These are mind-blowing cars. And I actually think that, I like the fact that over at NHRA at the moment, there's actually quite a few female drivers out there doing a lot of good things out there. I mean, you know, it's easy to say Courtney Force wants to just get the opportunity because he's John Force's daughter. Probably helps, but hey, a bit like Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney and all those guys in NASCAR, they've still got to prove they're any good. I mean, there's no point giving something to your son just because you're pretty good at doing it, and then it turns out they're not very good at it at all. It's a bit like me with rugby. My dad was very good at rugby. I tried it myself and I was rubbish. But luckily he just went, you know what, do something you're good at, do something you enjoy. So, Courtney Force, turns out she wanted to do drag racing like her dad, and she's pretty good at it. She's very good at it, in fact. She has I think she holds the record for the amount of female drag race victories, round victories, I think. There's also the likes of Erica Enders, I believe Ashley Force Hood. There's also, she's retired now, obviously, but Ashley Force was also in there. So quite a few female drivers in the NHRA classes at the moment, doing pretty well. I mean, most of the wider world of motorsport will know Courtney Force as Graham Rahal's significant other, so that's pretty good. I mean, to be honest, if you're a race driver and you're looking for a girlfriend who actually can like keep up with you in terms of speed, you're doing what, 220 miles an hour in an Indy car. You then date Courtney, who's like, oh, boring. I'm doing 320 in 10 seconds. Get on my level. So that must be an interesting relationship to be a part of, but certainly a very fast one. I imagine going down to the shops to get the groceries doesn't take very long for the Rahal Force relationship. But this is her car. I believe it's her 2014 car. It's hard to tell. The packaging was not actually very specific. It's certainly her 2015 car, because I know that's very, very colourful. It's kind of pink and yellow and a lot of different colours. And of course, it's a Camaro, because John Force Racing moved away from Mustangs. So let's have a look at it. It's a little bit difficult to focus funny cars, because they're so long. One end is focused and the other isn't. But there it is. There's the side of it. And as I say, I'm interested to look at this because it is different significantly. It's a Lionel-made diecast, so it's from the same company that brings you all the NASCAR diecasts. But certain things, number one,
those tyres are rubber. They're rubber tyres, so that's cool. Metal part there with the exhaust pipes, the straight pipes where you see all the flame spitting out of it. So rubber tyres are on there, so it's a bit like the old Action hood opening cars in that respect. It is a shame that the body doesn't actually lift off in that respect. This hood scoop there is moulded in. It's moulded plastic, so that's a nice touch. That's good detail as well. It looks pretty good. A couple of downsides. They've probably focused on the important bits to make it look nice as a model, but there's a couple of other things. You can see there's no interior. These are just blacked out windows, which is kind of annoying. There's nothing really in there, as far as I can tell. You can sort of, yeah, no, you see there, it's blanked off, so there's no sort of roll cage or interior or anything, which is a bit strange. Also, at the back here, I find this very strange. There doesn't appear to be any wheelie bar, which is very unusual, considering that you kind of need one of those. If you're a funny car doing 300 miles an hour, what's the first thing it's going to do when it goes off the line if it doesn't have a wheelie bar? It's just going to do that. There you go. So this is obviously the wheelie special Courtney Force Mustang, because there's no wheelie bar on it. Go on the back there. I think those are parachutes moulded in. They don't really look that great, but it's all pre-moulded stuff. So it's a weird one, this one. In certain ways, it's better than the NASCAR diecast. You know, the rubber tyres are a nice touch and everything, and it looks pretty good. But on other cases, it's got a kind of lack of detail that you can't really get away with on this car in the same way you can on a NASCAR diecast. On a NASCAR diecast, you know, it's a lot of, it's a kind of smooth body with not much sticking off it. You know, with the exception being like the shark fin and things like that. So, but on this car, there's a few bits on there that you just notice too easily if it's not pre-moulded. So that's a bit annoying, but otherwise, I do like this diecast. I do think it's very cool, and I like the fact that the NHRA are getting a representation in the diecast world. I think it's very cool. And obviously this being a diecast means I'm going to do some stop motion shenanigans with it. You can expect that. I'm hoping to get a few more of the cars. I know most of the John Force team are represented. I believe Ron Capps also has some diecasts out. I believe there's a Napa tin you can get with his diecast in. A bit like the Chase Elliott one was very similar, I believe. But yeah, John Force, Courtney Force, who else? Presumably Force Racing are represented in there. Because this was in it was in a blister pack rather than like a box like the NASCAR diecast. So it's very interesting. It's a nice comparison piece, and certainly the paint scheme looks very good. They've done a very good job on that one. So that's far, far better than anything they've done on the NASCAR diecast. Well, last year, certainly the NASCAR diecast this year, have been generally much better. So this has been my pretty good review of Courtney Force's Traxxas John Force Racing Ford Mustang, the NHRA Top Fuel Funny car. I'll see you during the week for the rest of the scheduled program, including the next part of Bombersports Plays NASCAR 15. I'll see you next time, Bombers.